A virtual console game I had been eagerly awaiting was re-released on Nintendo Wii. Yoshi's Story! Originally released on the Nintendo 64. So why am I so excited about the re-release of this game? I mean, if I love it so much, wouldn't it be in my collection already? That's a good question. Me? I'll explain. Let's go back to the magical year of 1997.
I was reading the 100th issue of Nintendo Power when I came across a preview of Yoshi's Story. Sold as the sequel to Yoshi's Island, I was already dreading the thought of a now 3D crying baby Mario. He really made life unlivable. But I was wrong about two things. Mario wouldn't be in it and it wasn't going to be in 3D. Instead it would be on something the developers dubbed 2.5D. Now I'm no mathematician, but if 2D equals the cool games I grew up playing as a kid like Super Metroid and Castlevania 4, and 3D equals the awesome new games Nintendo was releasing at the time like GoldenEye, then what the heck was 2.5D and why should I care? It sounded like a step backwards and it just didn't add up. Especially when the whole world was going crazy for 3D games. From game 1, Nintendo 64 was pushing a simple concept then new to many console gamers. 3D is where it's at, and they were right. It was truly an exciting time to be a gamer. But there I sat, at the dawn of the 3D console revolution, and I was presented with this. Well, actually the screenshots made it look pretty good. I was skeptical, I mean I still wanted to play 3D games at the time. But I decided to wait and see. The day it came out, I went to the store and bought it with the money I had saved shoveling snow that year. Brought it home, played it, and loved it. Until I beat it an hour later. I took it to a used game store to trade it in the same day.
Whoa, hold up. The same day? The same day.
Luckily they weren't offering what I wanted for it, so I took it home for another go.
Why'd they have to make it so easy? This game is for little kids. That's true, younger me. This game is for kids, but it doesn't have to be. What? I'll explain later. Let's get to the game. Nintendo. Wow, that's pretty cute. No doubt. The theme of the game, in fact. It's so, adorable that it'll put you to the test. Hold on to your pre-manliness, me. Oh, you are frivolous. Alright, so if this game isn't for little kids, what's it all about? Whoa, you just said a mouthful. Fruit! The game's about fruit. Yeah, pretty much. Sounds pretty fruity if you ask me. Yeah. Nice one.
I did eventually end up selling it while I knew I could get maximum value for my trade-in, but I've regretted it ever since. Anyway, the story of Yoshi's story goes like this. The Yoshis were busy being lovable when the evil baby Bowser suddenly turned the island into a storybook and stole their super happy tree. The baby Yoshis decided to hatch a brilliant plan to defeat baby Bowser and recover the super happy tree. Which of course was to eat a crap load of fruit and become super happy.
Makes sense to me.
Ah, memories. Let's do this. Alright, so in keeping with the storybook theme, each world is one of 6 pages in the book and each page has 4 levels, which means you'll need to beat the game at least 4 different times in order to play all 24 levels. I didn't know this the first time I played, so when I beat the first level of each world and won, I was quick to dismiss it as a kid's game and try to get rid of it right away. But with this game, there's more than meets the eye. For starters, you'll play Fruit Roulette to determine the lucky fruit of the day, which will be one of the more desirable fruits for the Yoshis. At first you can choose from 6 Yoshis, all with equal attributes, but they each prefer the fruit that matches their color the closest. Green Yoshi prefers watermelons, yellow Yoshi prefers bananas, and so on. There are also hidden Yoshis in this game that are less picky eaters. Oh, so this is 2.5D, huh? Okay, I see what they mean now. Pre-rendered 3D graphics, side-scrolling style. The environments are lush and beautifully layered with a design style that fits the storybook theme. Cushy patchwork fabric, cardboard cutouts, and textured paper backdrops. Though you're always looking at a side view, the pseudo 3D graphics really pop and are very impressive. This is seriously one of the most gorgeous side-scrollers I've ever seen. At the time this came out, all I wanted to play was 3D games like Mario 64 and GoldenEye, but visually this game didn't disappoint me at all. The style is even reminiscent of Yoshi's Island, but without the annoying baby Mario, thankfully. Speaking of Yoshi's Island, some of the moves in Yoshi's Story are familiar. For example, you can eat enemies and turn them into eggs that you can then throw, but unlike in Yoshi's Island, now you can control the direction of the eggs without having to use that weird auto-aiming thing, and the controls in Yoshi's Story are quite good overall. Yeah, you can even do that goofy running in air double jump thing, but now that Yoshi's got a voice, the sound is a bit lost in translation.
That sound is just hilarious. What does it remind you of? You know what that sounds like to me? I think little Yoshi's got a case of the dino dumps.
Anyway, the level design is top-notch throughout the game, and you can even take multiple paths through each level to get to... Hey, wait a minute. I just looped around to the beginning of the level! That's right, unlike many side-scrolling platformers, there's no physical goal line. Instead, all you need to do is eat 30 fruit to progress to the next level. No joke. If you simply eat the first 30 fruit that appear before your plump little face, you'll finish any level in a few minutes. This is what really turned me off, and I'd imagine it was the same for a lot of gamers. There's no difficulty setting, and the game is as easy or difficult as you make it. If you're the type that rushes through games like I was, you'll beat this game in no time, and you may miss out on the fun and challenge of being a picky eater. Yeah, ultimately the goal of the game is to get through the levels and beat Baby Bowser, which is easy. I mean, a kid can do it. But if you like exploration and are motivated to challenge yourself, you'll find that Yoshi's Story can be a challenging game indeed. The best example of this is found in hunting for melons. All Yoshis love melons, but there's only 30 in each level, and some of them are kinda hard to find. But if you sniff around peculiar areas, you'll find them, sending Yoshi's Mood, the game's scoring system, into the stratosphere. Another way to get these melons is through minigames found in the levels, one of which will have you balancing a leaning tower of melons to the goal line. Some of these are pretty tough. So what does it matter, right? Let's say your Yoshi is ecstatic. I mean, you ate a ton of lucky fruit and their favorite fruit and melons. So what? Well, you get a higher score, but it's mostly about making the game more challenging. I doubt anyone's gonna run and tell their friends about their high score in Yoshi's Story anyway. The only way to unlock all 24 levels of Yoshi's Story is to find 3 hearts in each level, as each heart only unlocks 1 additional level. There are several bosses in this game and they're easy, but they're pretty cool and inventive. For example, to defeat this cotton candy style guy, you gotta lick it to death. It's pretty funny. There's plenty of hidden stuff to find if you're so inclined, including different colored Yoshis that have different characteristics. The music in Yoshi's Story is impossible to ignore. Each track is a variation on the theme song, but each one is unique and catchy in its own way. However, some may be turned off by the overall cuteness of this music and sounds, rattle shakes and whatnot, but I think it's really good.
In fact, I bought the soundtrack from Nintendo Power. Hold on a sec, this is actually pretty cool. The CD is cut out in the shape of Yoshi's head, surrounded by fruit. It's a thing of beauty.
In the end, it's the small things that make Yoshi's Story such a unique and charming game in my book. But at $10 US, you'll have to decide for yourself if you're willing to make the game challenging and fun. And if it doesn't seem like your thing, it's not.
Now while it's true that I really do love this game, I gotta admit it's pretty embarrassing, so I always play with the door closed.
What the?
I told you to knock!
Dude, what are you playing?
Yoshi's Story.
God, that game is horrible, man.
So there you have it, Yoshi's Story, now available on the Virtual Console. I grew to love it, most people hated it, but
That's 'cause it sucks.